Okay. What's going on over here? Oh, I just cast one heck of a spell and I'm not really sure what happens. I thought I actually died with that one. Who are you?
Hello, my demon friend. I have been waiting so long for you. Now, grant me the wishes that I seek.
What are you, 12? I'm not a demon. I'm clearly a wizard. In fact, I can prove it. The last thing I remember was I cast a spell that... Wait, if I died, and I was heading to hell, and you cast a summoning spell, right then...
Nice try, demon. But I filled out the paperwork perfectly. I got all 666 pentagram to hack into your system. If you weren't a demon, you wouldn't be here. Now, I am interested in friends and a woman. I have heard that the Irish believe that there are women with breasts large enough to smack them together to kill a man. And I want a girlfriend who makes me believe that that's plausible. That is my first wish. I know demons can grant wishes. Now, Yvonne.
No. I might be able to heap up this broom like this, but just because I have magical aptitude doesn't make me a demon.
Your trickery is no match for I, the great Arik. Now, if that wish is too much for you, maybe you need to warm up or something. How about a review of a book or something? I really like looking at those. So if you could give me one of those, I suppose that will do. Now, Avaunt!
I can't grant those wishes. What do you think I can do? Just conjure up a review like that? Hello, everyone. And welcome to Eric, or as my library records call it, Faust Eric. Faust Eric continues right where sorcery left off, which is a bit of a spoiler for sorcery, but the book opens with it, so I'm just going to go with it. Rincewind has been sent to the Discworld equivalent of hell, the Dungeon Dimensions. There, he has been summoned by a 12-year-old prodigy in order to serve as his devilish servant to accomplish his 3 wishes. Luckily, Rincewind seems to have gained the devilish powers. It seems that if you're caught in a devil's circle, you become devilish. And while he cannot control those powers, with a snap of his finger, he seems to be able to grant more or less a wish. He wouldn't be a monkey's paw if he could help it, but unfortunately he interprets wishes like conquer the world, see new sights, see the most beautiful women to ever exist, and make her girlfriend, into things like, let's go to the Trojan War and abduct Helen of Troy. Things like that. Ways you can kind of spiral out of control is the point. This structure allows Rincewind and Eric, the 90s hacker archetype turned into a demonologist, to jump all over the Discworld in terms of scope and in terms of tone, jumping from the Odyssey at one moment to an Aztec jungle the next. This comedic structure allows Terry Pratchett to jump all over the Discworld, increasing the scope of the world and jumping into different structures for different chapters. One chapter you could be in the Trojan War, the next chapter you could be in an Aztec temple trying to not get sacrificed. The next chapter you could be in an office comedy. Speaking of office comedy, the most consistent problem with this story, right from the get-go, is bureaucracy. If you think that the bureaucracy in hell was working, Rincewind would have been called instead of some other demon? Hell no. They want that boy's soul. You think they're going to spend a wizard who doesn't know what he's doing? No, the bureaucracy doesn't work, and neither does the company culture in hell, or anywhere else for that matter. The story practically starts with Rincewind being acknowledged for his accomplishments during sorcery, and for all the times that he saved the world. In fact, they plan to put up a statue for him. But then they realize that they don't really have the funding for it, so they decide to make a commemorative book instead. But no one there is really a good writer, and they're not willing to hire someone, so they say, why not a commemorative plaque or a free parking space for anyone who's related to Rincewind. But there's not really anyone who knows the guy, so the commemorative plaque seems like a good idea. But then they realize that Rincewind didn't fill out the paperwork, and that's causing like a big problem for someone in the department. So what actually he ends up getting is a fine and a notice of problems. He really needs to get his step in gear, sent to his next of kin. And that kind of humor towards how the bureaucratic system and how office politics works plays with the way that the powers work too, as well as how hell works. Because it turns out that hell has modernized, and Satan is one toxically positive guy. I could imagine a conversation with the demons down in hell going something like this. Hey, Satan, I've had a bit of a struggling day. Oh, that's okay, pal. I have my struggle days, too. But then I get out of bed, eat my nice yogurt, and go on a 2-mile run. I also like to think positive and write down grateful things for everyone, just like any sane and normal human would. And I found that makes it better, Pud. Why don't you go home and just do that right now, instead of doing all the hard work that all your friends are doing? But that's okay. I understand. I'll let them all know, and I'm sure that they'll give you a A+ effort. So, you gonna go to work? This is the most terrifying Satan I have ever seen. So while this 90s hacker kid and this wizard go traipsing around the world trying to get everything that they've ever wanted, they get screwed over not necessarily because of the bad wording of the wishes, but because their promises can never be fulfilled, because corporate culture kinda sorta doesn't really work the way that you think it does. It works with like 3 exclamation marks that are proclaiming that this is the best company in the world. Ow. These are sensitive. Which leads to this story being the fantasy equivalent of Office Space. But the characters learn, and they realize that no matter what gifts they get, sometimes it's better to just be happy with what you got, even if your eyes do look crazy a little bit. And because of that, this book gets a 2 thumbs up from me, out of a potential 6 thumbs up. You haven't seen the bottom part of my body. I can say I have 6 thumbs. None of you will ever know. For Terry Pratchett, for me, this is one of his middle-of-the-road works. It's still leaps and bounds ahead of many other writers, able to combine the dramatic and the comedic in a way that matches Monty Python. If that absurdist tone, combined with fantasy, sounds right for you, which I hope I've conveyed with the props and the way I've delivered this review, then read Faust. And that's a command. Oh, I went down to corporate land. It was fire and had no plans. Saw my manager look in his eye. Hey, here's a devil in disguise.